About a year ago, I made a video about AI and its impact on artists, and 1 year later, I'm making another one. I promised myself then, and I'll promise myself now, that I will not get angry about this topic. So I've made an Angryometer right here to keep track of things. With that in place, let's talk about AI art, shall we? This is a messy and complex topic with lots of moving parts and lots of different opinions that I can't possibly cover in one video, so I'm going to cover the broad strokes instead. On the one side, we've got the artists who feel that their work has been taken without their consent, and on the other, you've got people who feel that those same artists are gatekeeping art, and with the use of AI, art is now accessible to everyone. It's the fight of the century, or at least it would be if more people seem to care about what's actually at stake. I've covered how and why AI art is essentially stolen pieces of work in this video, so I won't go over old ground again. Instead, I'll focus on the questions that I don't feel are being asked. Why does it feel that people don't really care about artists? I'm not anti-tech, at all. I'm primarily a digital artist, and digital art has become the norm in most industries. So isn't AI just an evolution of that same tech that we use? No, not at all actually. See, when you think of digital art, you probably think of something like Photoshop and a graphics tablet, and you'd be right in thinking that. These are tools that the artists use to create art more efficiently and, in the long run, more cheaply and arguably more environmentally friendly too. But despite what some people may think, digital art tools don't do any of the creativity, any of the art for you. This can be proved with a simple exercise. Find someone that you know who is not an artist and give them a graphics tablet, Photoshop, and 1 hour to come up with a painting. Chances are it won't be great. Then get an artist to do the same painting in the same amount of time with the same tools and compare them. And then laugh. Laugh in their face. Calm? I'm calm. I'm calm. With AI art, you don't need the tools nor the artist to create high-level pieces of work. Except you still do. AI-generated art is trained off millions of pieces of work by professional artists without their consent, but we'll come back to that, and so the models and algorithms wouldn't be anywhere close to as impactful as they are without the work of artists. If that isn't true, then why don't these AI models and systems work off pieces that are within the public domain? That would solve almost all of this. Well, for one, they're more effective with more data or pieces of work, and two, the work produced won't be contemporary and will feel out of date or too restrictive, which isn't ideal when you want to make money selling subscriptions, is it? Now, if you've seen my videos on #ComicsGate, you'll know that I don't like gatekeeping. I think most things should be accessible to everyone, especially when it comes to creative pursuits. So by that logic, I should love AI generated art because it enables people who wouldn't be able to create amazing paintings to create amazing paintings. Well, the only thing you need to be an artist is something to draw with and something to draw on. That is it. No secrets, no hacks. No expensive, out-of-this-world equipment or gear that's prohibitive to those less fortunate. Anyone can learn to draw art for at least the first few years with the absolute simplest and most humble equipment. I haven't even started on the ethical side of things yet, and that's mostly because it's that part of the issue that makes me the most angry. It's not so much that the artwork has been stolen, because I expect money-grabbing, talentless, capitalist opportunists to do things like that. But it's the fact that the people who seem to care are the artists and very few others. This should be one of the biggest stories going, and yet people have been so busy being dazzled by the cool tech that they either don't know or don't care how the tech was built. It feels that artists get shit on a lot. Have a look at how the comic industry treats comic creators in this video here to see what I mean. And that is not a unique situation that artists find themselves in. Personally, I don't understand why it happens. The reason I called this video Art is Useless is not just to quote Wild, but because that's the general messaging artists have had from the world for a while now.
I don't value you at all!
And everyone seems to have a significant dose of cognitive dissonance when it comes to art, because they use art every single day. Having said that, I appreciate that I am incredibly biased when it comes to this topic. And when I take my artist hat off and think of it objectively, art kind of is useless. It doesn't house the homeless, it doesn't cure the sick, it doesn't provide income for the masses, and it doesn't protect us against external threats. Art is a luxury that we don't need, and in our current climate, we cannot afford. Did you see that twist coming? And the thing is, you can't really argue with that. It's all objectively true, except when you read a poem at a funeral that captures the spirit of your dearly departed, or you read a story to your children that forms the foundation of their happy childhood memories, or you're inspired by a comic that makes you want to tell and draw stories for future generations, Or you turn a house into a home by adorning it with art that makes you feel something intangible. Or you connect with a complete stranger over a piece that they have made. Or your child finds a way to express how they feel when words just aren't enough. Or when you can switch off from the cold, harsh world and dive into a fantasy land for a while. And if you still feel that AI art is a good thing based on everything we know about how it's made, then, well, fuck off. My patience with the ignorant is running thin, and it has completely gone for those who know and still don't care. Kindly go fuck yourselves. Becoming an artist is not prohibitive, and it's also not about creating pretty pictures. Being an artist, no matter what your discipline, is about struggling all the time for your creative pursuits. It's about carving out small amounts of time over a series of years as you try to control your medium, clinging to every small victory that you have and being knocked down by your defeats. It's about getting up time and again to be able to express yourself, your ideas, or the ideas of others in ways that you couldn't have done years prior without all of that dedication. It's not about thinking about an idea, typing it in as a prompt, and sitting back to enjoy the fruits of your, well, not labour, fruits of shit. And that's the thing that AI bros, I refuse to call them artists, will never be able to have. No algorithm, no amount of tech will enable you to become an artist. Tech is like a pencil. It requires an artist and years of experience of trial and of many, many errors along the way. Art is the artist that makes it. I think I broke it. Let's just hope that the French go through with their taxation regime that will aim to properly compensate artists whose work the AI was built on. Oh, yeah, the country that gave New York its statue may be one of the first nations to actually protect its artists. It's not hugely surprising that France would act this way, considering they see comics as a legitimate high art form, which it completely is, by the way. That, alongside the heroic efforts of Carla Ortiz, Sarah Anderson, and Kelly McKernan, the future of AI and artists may not be as bleak as it once seemed. Hopefully we'll get to a point where the two can coexist. The AI bros who definitely would have stopped watching a long time ago to tell me how it doesn't really work like that in the comments often feel that artists are anti-tech. I've already said in this video how that's not true, but it bears repeating. I doubt very much that I'll ever use AI to help me create art, even if it was ethical, because I enjoy the process of creating art myself. It doesn't make that much sense for me to use it. But just because I wouldn't use it doesn't mean others shouldn't, just not in a way that screws artists. And if you put a single ounce of thought into that, that's not actually a big request. If we can't win with legality, then I hope that this phase of our existence wakes up and understands the value of artists in our lives. Regardless of the economic climate, art will always have a place in our society and is the thing that makes the world seem a little less dark. And if you feel that art was somehow something that you couldn't access before AI came along, then just pick up a f***ing pencil. Congratulations, you are now an artist in training. Now go and train, because learning how to become an artist is, yes, very fucking hard, but also incredibly rewarding. I know this video was dramatic, but this one isn't as dramatic. I'm not angry at all in that one.